When I moved to my new apartment, I was excited. It was my first place after college, nestled in a quiet neighborhood. The building was old, with creaky floors and peeling wallpaper, but it felt cozy. My neighbors seemed friendly enough, at least on the surface. I often exchanged pleasantries in the hallway, but there was one neighbor I never met. Apartment 3B remained a mystery. The door was always closed, and no sounds ever emerged from within. Occasionally, I'd catch a glimpse of a shadow moving behind the frosted glass, but I never saw anyone come or go. I asked my other neighbors about them, but they would shrug and change the subject, their expressions turning serious.
"Just leave them be,"
one neighbor advised, his voice dropping to a whisper.
"You don't want to disturb them."
I brushed it off as small town oddity until one stormy night. Curiosity got the better of me. The wind howled outside, rattling the old windows, and I found myself staring at the closed door of 3B, the darkness behind it beckoning. My heart raced as I approached, a mix of fear and intrigue propelling me forward. I knocked softly. "Hello? Is anyone home?" Silence greeted me, thick and suffocating. Just as I turned to leave, I heard a faint shuffling from inside, like something heavy moving. I knocked again, more insistently this time, and waited.
"Who's there?"
A voice came from the other side, low and raspy. "I'm your neighbor from 3A. I just wanted to say hi." There was a long pause before the voice replied.
"Hi? Why?"
I didn't know how to answer. Just wanted to introduce myself. It's nice to meet you."
"Nice,"
the voice echoed, but it sounded hollow.
"I don't get many visitors."
Maybe we can talk sometime. I'd love to know more about you, I offered, trying to sound friendly despite my growing unease.
"No,"
the voice hissed.
"I don't think you should come back here."
Before I could respond, I heard the sound of a lock clicking. The door creaked open just a fraction, and I was hit with a gust of stale air. I peered inside, but the darkness seemed impenetrable. I caught a glimpse of something. Was it a figure standing in the shadows? I backed away, heart pounding, the strange feeling that I had disturbed something deeper. Okay, no problem. Just let me know if you need anything. I hurried back to my apartment, locking the door behind me, my mind racing with questions. Who lived there? What did they want? But over the next few days, I tried to forget about my bizarre encounter. As the week dragged on, strange things began happening. My belongings would be slightly out of place. Once I found my favorite coffee mug in the hallway outside my apartment. I chalked it up to absent-mindedness, but the uneasy feeling in my gut grew stronger. Then came the sounds. At night, I would lie in bed unable to sleep, listening to a rhythmic tapping coming from 3B. It was unsettling, like nails scratching against the wood. I tried to ignore it, but it seeped into my dreams, twisting them into nightmares filled with dark figures and whispers. One night, unable to bear it any longer, I gathered my courage and knocked on the door again. This time, the tapping stopped. "Hello?" I called out, my voice trembling. "Is everything okay?" A pause. Then the door creaked open. The shadowy figure of a person loomed in the darkness. Their face was obscured, but I could feel their eyes boring into me.
"You came back?"
The voice hissed, filled with an unsettling mix of surprise and menace. I just wanted to see if you were all right," I stammered, taking a step back. "You've been making some strange noises." A low chuckle echoed from within, making my skin crawl.
"It's not my fault. They don't like it when I talk. They want me to stay quiet."
I could barely understand the words. Who wants you to stay quiet?"
"They come at night. They don't want you to know I'm here,"
the figure murmured.
"They can smell you."
My heart raced, a primal fear flooding my senses. "Who are you talking about?" Suddenly, the door swung wide open, revealing the full extent of the darkness inside. I could see shapes moving, dark and amorphous, shifting against the walls. I wanted to run, but I felt paralyzed, trapped in the gaze of that shadowy figure.
"They want you,"
it whispered, its voice dripping with malice.
"They've been watching you, waiting just like they waited for me.
In that moment, realization struck me like a lightning bolt. I turned to flee, but the figure lunged, grabbing my arm with a grip that felt like iron.
You can't leave, it screeched. You're already part of them.
With a surge of adrenaline, I wrenched myself free and bolted down the hall. I didn't stop until I reached my apartment, slamming the door shut and locking it tight. The sounds from 3B resumed, louder and more frantic, like a cacophony of voices urging me to join them. I stayed up all night, terrified of what might happen next. As dawn broke, I cautiously peeked through the peephole. The hallway was empty. Weeks passed without incident, but the dread lingered. I began to notice more missing items. Small things at first, but they kept disappearing. My sanity frayed at the edges, and I knew I had to leave the apartment. The day I moved out, I caught one last glimpse of 3B as I hurried past. The door was slightly ajar, and a pair of eyes glinted in the darkness, watching me leave. As I drove away, I thought I was free, but I couldn't shake the feeling that they were still there, waiting, always watching. I never returned to that neighborhood, but sometimes at night, when I'm alone in my new place, I can still hear the distant tapping echoing in the back of my mind, a chilling reminder of the unseen neighbor who never truly let go.